Commander Thexlar had seen many things in his 40 cycles as a xenobiologist, but nothing prepared him for the data scrolling across his terminal. The newly contacted species from Sol 3, calling themselves humans, had just submitted their planetary classification form to the Galactic Council. "This must be an error," he muttered, his 3 eyes blinking in disbelief. His assistant, a young Krell named Vosh, leaned over. "What's wrong, Commander?" "According to this, their world isn't just a Class 9 death world. It's something else entirely." Thexlar pulled up the atmospheric readings. Oxygen levels at 21%. That's violently reactive. Most species need 3% maximum. Maybe they wear protective suits? No, Vosh. They breathe it. Their cells require it. He scrolled further, his mandibles clicking nervously. And look at this, their star bombards them with radiation constantly. Not filtered radiation, raw stellar output. They've even evolved a repair mechanism for the DNA damage it causes. Vosh's scales paled. Ancestors preserve us. But Thexlar wasn't finished. The gravity readings showed 1.2 standard Gs, enough to crush most species over time. The temperature fluctuations were insane, ranging from temperatures that would freeze methane to those that would boil water. And the water itself covered 70% of the planet, filled with creatures that could swallow a transport shuttle whole. "We need to call an emergency council session," Thexlar said, his voice trembling. "We've been classifying planets wrong this entire time. We thought death worlds were the worst, but Earth is something far more terrifying." "What would you call it?" Thexlar stared at the data, watching videos of humans casually walking through environments that would kill him in seconds, scorching deserts, frozen wastelands, crushing ocean depths. A hell world. And somehow, impossibly, they didn't just survive it. They thrived. They conquered it completely. The video shifted to show a human child, barely into adolescence, carrying a load that would strain a full-grown Krell. The child was smiling. "Vosh, send Priority 1 messages to all council members. Tell them we need to completely revise our understanding of habitability. And tell them." He paused, watching another video of humans voluntarily jumping out of aircraft for recreation. "Tell them we may have just made first contact with the most dangerous species in the galaxy." Dangerous? But their ambassador seemed so friendly. "That's what worries me most," Thexlar replied, zooming in on an image of a human marathon, creatures voluntarily running until their bodies failed, just for fun. They think this is normal. They have no idea how terrifying they actually are. The weight of the discovery settled on his shoulders. The galaxy had been measuring danger all wrong. Death worlds produced survivors. But hell worlds? Hell worlds produced something far worse. They produced predators who smiled. The Galactic Council chamber filled with representatives from 200 species, all buzzing with confusion. Emergency sessions were rare, the last one had been called when the Vrax plague threatened to wipe out 3 sectors. High Chancellor Morvith, a dignified Zen with silver-lined scales, called for order. "Commander Thexlar has requested this gathering. Commander, you may present your findings." Thexlar's hands shook as he activated the holodisplay. "Honored delegates, 3 cycles ago we made first contact with inhabitants of Sol 3, designation, Earth. Initial reports classified it as a Class 9 death world. However, further investigation has revealed something unprecedented." The display showed Earth rotating slowly, beautiful and blue. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Many had never seen a world with so much liquid water. "That's gorgeous," whispered Ambassador Krill of the Aqueous Collective. "It's a nightmare," Thexlar countered. He zoomed into the atmosphere. Oxygen concentration, 21%. For reference, anything above 5% is considered lethally corrosive to most species. Humans breathe this constantly. The murmuring grew louder. Thexlar continued, gravity, 1.2 standard. Solar radiation, unfiltered, requiring biological repair mechanisms. Temperature variance, over 100 degrees in some regions. Extreme weather phenomena including cyclonic storms with winds exceeding 400 kilometers per hour. Surely nothing lives in those conditions year-round, interjected the Pelian representative. On the contrary. Thexlar pulled up footage of human cities. Humans have established permanent settlements in every biome. Frozen poles, scorching equatorial zones, underground, even underwater. But that's not the worst part. He displayed a chart. Earth's ecosystem is based entirely on predation. 95% of species survive by consuming other living organisms. Humans evolved as apex persistence predators, they chase prey until it dies from exhaustion. Barbaric, someone muttered. Strategic, Thexlar corrected. Their bodies can regulate temperature through liquid secretion. They can track prey across vast distances. They can survive on almost any organic matter. And their pain tolerance. He showed footage of human athletes, is beyond our comprehension. The video displayed a human climbing a sheer rock face without safety equipment, another running despite obvious injury, a third diving into frozen water voluntarily. But here's what truly separates Earth from mere deathworlds, Thexlar said, his voice grave. Deathworlds create survivors who adapt to their environment. Earth created survivors who adapted their environment to themselves. Humans didn't just endure their hell world, they domesticated it. They conquered every apex predator, bent entire ecosystems to their will, and then got bored and started leaving the planet. The chamber fell silent. They've only been spacefaring for 200 cycles, Thexlar finished, and they're already asking when they can visit other worlds. Without environmental suits. Because they assume everywhere is as mild as Earth. Chancellor Morvatha's voice was barely a whisper. What have we invited into the galaxy? Ambassador Daniel Brooks stood before the Galactic Council, completely unaware of the terror in the room. He smiled warmly, a gesture that made several delegates flinch, as it exposed his bone-crushing teeth. Thank you for this opportunity, Daniel began. Humanity is thrilled to join the galactic community. We're eager to establish cultural exchanges, trade agreements, and collaborative research. Chancellor Morvath gestured carefully. Ambassador Brooks, we have some concerns. About your species' biology. Our biology? Daniel laughed, a sound that registered as aggressive threat displays on half the translation devices. What about it? Thexlar stepped forward nervously. Ambassador, do you understand that your homeworld's conditions are considered unsurvivable by every other known species? Daniel's eyebrows rose. Really? I mean, Earth can be rough, sure, but we've got a pretty stable climate. Your atmosphere is poison, blurted a Methian delegate. Pure, corrosive poison. You mean oxygen? But, you all breathe, right? Daniel looked confused. Helium, methane, hydrogen sulfide, yes. Not oxygen. Never oxygen. It breaks down cellular structures. Daniel processed this. Okay, so you need different atmospheres. That's fine. We can accommodate. Your gravity crushes us, another delegate cried. Your star's radiation would kill us in moments. Your weather systems could destroy our cities. Your oceans contain creatures large enough to swallow our spacecraft. Ambassador, Morvath said carefully, we need to understand. How did your species survive long enough to develop civilization? Daniel thought about it. Well, we're pretty adaptable. Early humans migrated across the whole planet, lived in basically every environment. Sure, some of it was dangerous, predators, weather, disease, but we learned to use tools, build shelters, work together. Predators? Vosh asked quietly. What kind of predators? Oh, you know. Big cats that could crush your skull in their jaws. Bears that weighed half a ton. Crocodiles that could drag you underwater. Snakes with venom that would kill you in minutes. Pack hunters like wolves. Sharks in the oceans. Daniel shrugged. But that was thousands of years ago. We've mostly eliminated the dangerous ones from populated areas now. The silence was deafening. You eliminated them? Morvith asked. Sure. Well, some we drove to extinction accidentally, which we feel bad about. Others we pushed into preserves. A few we actually domesticated. Kept them as companions. You befriended your predators? Thexlar's voice cracked. Dogs? Yeah, they're great. Descended from wolves. Been our best friends for like 30,000 years. Daniel pulled out his data pad, showing pictures of his golden retriever. This is Max, isn't he adorable? Every delegate recoiled at the image of teeth and claws. Ambassador, Morvith said slowly, your species domesticated apex predators, for companionship? Well, also for protection, hunting, herding, rescue work, they're really versatile. Oh, and we also domesticated horses, which can kick hard enough to kill a man, and cattle, which weigh over a ton. Had to, really. Agriculture was essential for civilization. Daniel noticed the horrified stares. Is something wrong? I thought cultural exchange would be more exciting. Ambassador Brooks, Morvith said carefully, I think we need to discuss humanity's place in the galaxy more thoroughly. And perhaps, establish some safety protocols. Dr. Elena Martinez, humanity's chief xenobiologist, sat in a medical bay aboard the council station, surrounded by alien doctors who treated her like an unexploded bomb. So, she said cheerfully, what did you want to know about human physiology? The xenophysician, Dr. Kaur, consulted his notes with trembling hands. Let's start with something basic. Your immune system. The initial scans suggest it's aggressive. Well, we have to fight off a lot of pathogens. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites, Earth is loaded with them. Our immune system has multiple layers, skin barriers, stomach acid, white blood cells, antibodies. Stomach acid? Dr. Kaur looked confused. What pH level? Around 1.5 to 3.5. Dissolves most organic matter pretty effectively. The medical staff exchanged horrified glances. Industrial waste solvents were typically pH 4. And this is, inside you? Constantly? Has to be. Otherwise, foodborne pathogens would kill us. Elena noticed their expressions. This is normal for us. Is it not normal for you? A Pelian doctor spoke up softly. We absorb nutrients through osmotic membranes. The idea of having corrosive chemicals inside our bodies is disturbing. Huh. Elena considered this. Well, our whole digestive system is pretty gnarly, I guess. We can eat almost anything organic, plants, meat, fungi. Our gut bacteria breaks it down. Bacteria? You have bacteria living inside you? Trillions of them. We'd die without them. They help digest food, produce vitamins, fight off harmful bacteria. Dr. Kaur made a note that looked like a warning symbol. Moving on. Your musculoskeletal system. We've observed humans can lift objects several times their body weight. Some can, yeah. With training. Our muscles are built for endurance and power. We evolved to chase prey over long distances and throw projectiles with incredible accuracy. Plus, our skeletal structure is really dense. Has to be, for the gravity and impact stresses. Impact stresses? Running, jumping, falling. Human children fall constantly while learning to walk. Adults engage in activities with high impact forces, sports, dancing, fighting. Our bones remodel themselves to handle it. Your young fall repeatedly? Vosh asked, horrified. That doesn't injure them permanently? Usually not. Minor scrapes and bruises. Teaches spatial awareness. Elena smiled at what she thought was concern for child safety. Human children are remarkably resilient. They have to be, they're learning to operate these complicated bodies in Earth's environment. Dr. Kaur pulled up a video. We observed human recreational activities. Could you explain this? The video showed rock climbing, martial arts, swimming in rough ocean waves, and parkour. Oh, that's just people staying fit and having fun. Physical activity is important for human health. Our bodies actually deteriorate without regular stress and challenge. You require danger to maintain health? Dr. Kaur's voice pitched higher. Not danger exactly, but physical challenge, yeah. Otherwise, our muscles atrophy, our bones weaken, our cardiovascular system declines. We evolved for constant movement and adaptation. The doctors looked at each other. One whispered, they need survival stress to avoid dying. What about pain tolerance? Asked another doctor. We've seen humans continue functioning despite injuries that would incapacitate any of us. Elena nodded. Adrenaline response. In dangerous situations, our bodies flood with hormones that suppress pain, increase strength, sharpen focus. Evolutionary advantage, injured prey can still escape or fight. So you can ignore mortal wounds? For a while, yeah. Until the adrenaline wears off. Elena paused. Are you all okay? You seem stressed. The first cultural exchange program brought 6 human students to the Galactic Academy, a prestigious institution that educated the galaxy's brightest minds. Professor Zilith, a renowned Pelian educator, had volunteered to host them. She was already regretting it. So, said Jake Martinez, a human teenager, do you guys have sports here? Sports? Zilitha's translator struggled with the concept. You mean competitive games? Yeah. Back home I played football, American football. It's awesome. Describe this, football. Okay, so 2 teams try to carry an oval ball into the opponent's end zone. You can run with it, throw it, kick it. The other team tries to tackle you, knock you to the ground to stop your progress. Zilitha's skin paled. This is recreation? Deliberate physical combat? Well, yeah. It's fun. Great workout, teaches teamwork. I was a linebacker, my job was to hit the guy with the ball as hard as possible. Another student, Aisha Okonkwo, chimed in. I preferred basketball. Less hitting, more jumping and running. And this is encouraged for young humans? Zilith asked weakly. Totally. Most kids play some kind of sport. Keeps us healthy. A Krell student named Zith approached cautiously. Are all human recreational activities violent? Nah, said Marcus Liu. I'm into rock climbing. No hitting involved. Rock climbing? Scaling vertical cliff faces. Usually with ropes for safety, sometimes without. You ascend sheer surfaces, voluntarily. It's a rush. The physical challenge, the problem solving, the view from the top. Marcus showed videos on his data pad. This is me free soloing in Yosemite, that means no ropes. Every alien student backed away from the screen. But Earth is beautiful, added Sarah O'Brien, trying to be helpful. She pulled up images of rainforests, mountains, oceans, deserts. There's so much to explore. Those environments would kill us, Zith said quietly. Sarah blinked. What? No, these are tourist destinations. Millions of people visit them every year. The radiation alone. Oh, we wear sunscreen. It's fine. Professor Zilith intervened. Perhaps we should discuss academic interests. What do you hope to study here? Engineering, Jake said. I want to help design spacecraft that can handle extreme environments. Medicine, said Aisha. I'm interested in how different species biologies work. Xenobiology for me, Marcus added. Learning about life that evolved in completely different conditions. Comparative literature, said Sarah. Understanding different perspectives through stories. This seemed safer. Literature. Excellent. Perhaps you could share some human stories? Sarah brightened. Sure. There's this great epic about a human who fought gods, killed monsters, and died tragically but heroically. That sounds violent. Oh, it's classic literature. Thousands of years old. Most cultures have myths about heroes overcoming impossible challenges. Because your world requires such things, Professor Zillith murmured. What? Jake looked confused. No, they're just stories. Metaphors for human struggle and growth. But you live these stories, Zith said. You spoke of deliberately creating physical challenges, exploring dangerous environments, competing in combat sports. Your species enacts your myths as recreation. The humans looked at each other, realization dawning. Oh, Marcus said slowly. You guys really don't do any of that, do you? We value safety, comfort, intellectual pursuit, Professor Zillith explained. Physical risk is avoided. Danger is eliminated where possible. But then. Aisha paused. What do you do for fun? Meditation, artistic creation, social bonding, learning. No games? No competition? We have strategy games, yes. Mental challenges. Jake whistled. Man, this is going to be a long semester. Admiral Kresh of the Galactic Defense Force sat across from General Patricia Williams, humanities representative to the Joint Military Committee. The meeting had been going poorly. Let me understand, Kresh said, his chitinous plates clicking with agitation. Earth has experienced how many major conflicts? Depends on how you define major, General Williams replied. Thousands of small-scale conflicts over our history. Maybe 200 significant wars. 2 genuine world wars that involved most of our nations. 2 planetary-scale wars. Kresh's voice was barely controlled. And your species survived both? Well, yeah. Cost millions of lives, but we rebuilt. Actually drove a lot of technological advancement, radar, jets, nuclear power, computers, rocketry. Not that I'm saying war is good, she added quickly. Just historically true. You weaponized atomic fission? And fusion. Though we've mostly agreed not to use those weapons anymore. Too destructive. Kresh pulled up a report. According to your submitted military data, Earth has approximately 200 independent nations, most with their own military forces. You weaponize everything, from simple kinetic projectiles to biological agents to directed energy. You have detailed combat doctrines for land, sea, air, space, and, what is, cyber warfare? Attacking through computer networks. Information systems are critical infrastructure. You've developed 17 different ways to kill each other and you're a pre-contact civilization? 19, if you count economic and psychological warfare, Williams corrected. Look, Admiral, humans have conflict in our nature. We've fought over resources, territory, ideology, religion, sometimes just pride. But we're not mindless warmongers. We've also developed complex peace treaties, international laws, and organizations dedicated to preventing war. Yet you maintain massive military forces. Peace through strength. And honestly? Williams leaned forward. When we found out about the Galactic Council, we assumed every species would have similar defensive capabilities. Are you saying they don't? Most species maintain small security forces. Police, essentially. Border Patrol. The Galactic Defense Force exists primarily to coordinate disaster relief and handle the occasional pirate raid. Pirates? Like, actual space pirates? Rare, but yes. Small groups of criminals, usually from desperate populations. How do you handle them? We negotiate, offer rehabilitation, employment opportunities. Williams blinked. And if they refuse? We keep trying. You don't have rules of engagement for hostile forces? The concept barely exists. Most conflicts are resolved through mediation. Okay, but... Williams struggled for words. What if a hostile alien species appears? What if someone actually wants to conquer territory or eliminate other species? That's theoretical. In 40,000 cycles of recorded galactic history, it's never happened. Never? Williams sat back. Admiral, on Earth, we have a saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. You're telling me the entire galaxy hopes for the best but doesn't prepare for anything? We prepare for natural disasters, accidents, system failures. But not war. Because war doesn't happen. Williams was quiet for a moment. Admiral, humanity would like to contribute to galactic security. We have extensive experience in strategic planning, threat assessment, and defensive operations. You want us to militarize the galaxy? No, I want you to be ready in case you need to defend it. The universe is vast. Just because you haven't encountered existential threats doesn't mean they don't exist. Kresh considered this. I will present your offer to the Council. But General, many will see humanity's military culture as aggressive, dangerous. Maybe, Williams acknowledged. But we're also the only species who knows what it's like to face extinction and fight back. The galaxy's been peaceful for thousands of years, and that's wonderful. But peace maintained through preparedness lasts longer than peace maintained through hope. She stood, extending her hand. Kresh recognized the human gesture and carefully returned it. One more thing, Williams said. Those pirates you mentioned? If they ever become a serious problem, let us know. Earth has a long history of dealing with maritime raiders. Turns out those tactics work in space, too. 6 months after first contact, Commander Thexlar presented his final report to the Galactic Council. The chamber was packed. Everyone wanted to hear the conclusion of the human question. Honored delegates, Thexlar began, after extensive study, I can now explain why Earth is far worse than a death world, and why that might be the galaxy's greatest asset. The chamber murmured. This wasn't the warning they'd expected. Death worlds create tough survivors, he continued. They produce species with hard shells, toxic biology, extreme environmental tolerance. But these species survive by avoiding danger, by adapting defensively. Earth did something different. He displayed human evolutionary history. Earth didn't create survivors. It created problem solvers. Every environmental challenge made humans smarter, more creative, more determined. They couldn't hide in shells, so they built shelters. They couldn't outrun predators, so they crafted weapons. They couldn't survive cold, so they discovered fire. Humans evolved by conquering their environment rather than adapting to it. And that mindset, that refusal to accept limitations, defines everything they do. Thexlar showed footage of human achievements, cities, medicine, space stations, art, music, literature. They brought that same intensity to cooperation. Human civilization is built on turning enemies into allies, strangers into families, problems into opportunities. Yes, they're physically dangerous. Yes, their world is a nightmare. Yes, they have capacity for violence we've never imagined. But they also have capacity for compassion, innovation, and determination that's equally unprecedented. He pulled up recent developments. In 6 months, humans have proposed 43 new technologies, solved two long-standing mathematical problems, offered military expertise that revolutionized our security protocols, and initiated cultural exchanges that enriched every species involved. They're dangerous, yes. But they're dangerous to problems, to limitations, to challenges. Not to friends. Chancellor Morvith stood. Commander, you're recommending full integration? I am. With appropriate safety protocols, humans are terrifyingly unaware of their own lethality. But yes. The galaxy has been stagnant for millennia. We've achieved peace through homogeneity, everyone similar enough to avoid conflict. Humans offer something we desperately need, perspective from a world that demanded excellence for survival. Ambassador Brooks was invited to speak. Thank you, Commander. Humanity knows we're different. We know we can be scary. But we're also hopeful. We've spent our entire history dreaming about the stars, about meeting other species, about joining something greater than ourselves. He gestured to the assembled species. You've achieved something we're still working toward, lasting peace, cooperation across vast differences, civilization without conquest. We have so much to learn from you. But maybe we also have something to offer. We know how to face impossible odds. We know how to turn disaster into opportunity. We know how to look at a problem everyone says is unsolvable and say, let's try anyway. Earth made us this way because it had to. But now we're here, and we choose to use that strength not to dominate, but to contribute. To explore, to learn, to help, to protect. He smiled, that strange, tooth-bearing expression aliens were slowly learning meant joy, not threat. The galaxy taught us we're from a hell world. But we've always believed that where you come from matters less than what you do with who you've become. We're ready to show you what humans can do when they have friends instead of predators. Partners instead of prey. And a whole galaxy of challenges to tackle together. The vote was unanimous. Humanity was welcomed into the Galactic Council as full members. As the session ended, Vosh approached Thexlar. So, Commander, what's the verdict? What is Earth really? Thexlar watched Ambassador Brooks laughing with a group of delegates, gesturing enthusiastically about some shared idea. It's simple, Vosh. We thought Deathworlds were the universe's crucible, the harshest test of survival. We were wrong. Earth isn't a death world. It's a forge world. And it doesn't produce survivors. He smiled, a gesture he'd learned from humans. It produces champions.